I do it right, Chad? This is for editor Chad. We love you, Chad. Okay. So we have our first one-on-one. Phil here, or Remus, because we do have our regular handles up. Look at that pretty nameplate. Missed quite a few sessions just because, we're adults with jobs. So let's find out what Phil was up to. And just because I need you to appreciate this, we are calling this episode Don't Take Phil for Granted.
Yes! I don't want much for Christmas, but this is it.
It's dad puns?
Oh, it's all dad puns. I have a comprised list of over 550 dad puns that are D&D related. I am fucking ready.
With that, we are about to get started, but Remus, do we have a nice little announcement?
We have some big important announcements. Drum roll, please. Chad, drum roll right here. Thank you. And I'm going to guess that he's going to have a pun in there and just roll a drum across the screen. That's fine.
Don't give
drum roll.
Ideas.
I love ideas. The announcement is a podcast. We're going to be starting a podcast. We're going to have fun discussions on D&D, on Dungeon Master stuff, recent developments in the community for tabletop role-playing games. Sometimes we'll do brief updates on the story. We'll go over characters. We'll go over some of our tips and tricks for the whole kit can caboodle of what we do and how we do it as players and as Dungeon Masters.
We'll have things like, I'm sorry, I don't mean to remember, but like homebrewing, house rules, which is one of my favorites. I love me a good house rule.
I think one of my favorite house rules that I still use is for crits, right? Natural 20s, when you hit them, you can sometimes roll 2 1s and it just fizzles out. But taking the max damage die off 1 and then rolling on top of that kind of makes you feel important for it. And then I know Rule of Cool is one that's like really kind of controversial right now, but I kind of like Rule of Cool in some cases. I think the one that's going to piss my players off, the ones I have, is I don't count hit points anymore for big fights. When the fight starts being like a drag, then it starts going down. Don't tell them I said that.
Well, this is going on YouTube.
Shh. You want to know what's behind this DM screen? Nothing!
It's the brain cell taking a nap. Because Lord knows none of us are using it.
I don't know how to use it. I get it sometimes and like, here. And I'm like, what do I do with this? I have it. Why?
That being said, let's pop over to our handles and let's get going. Pop over to our character names. And with that, let's find out what Phil was up to. Phil's session begins with a very vivid dream. The curtain lifts as the lights dim. The soft vibrato of string instruments float through the air as a single dancer takes the stage. She leaps and twirls, graceful and full of life, as the ribbons tied around her wrists dance through the air. No, not ribbons, but strings, like that of a marionette. A life-sized puppet whirls gracefully across the stage. Phil squints as a light flashes in his eyes. When his vision returns, he's standing in the wing of the stage as the puppet continues its waltz for its audience of 1. Gradually, it slows and its hands... No, her hands come to rest in front of her. She hangs, wooden and lifeless, from those marionette strings, her shadow a stark contrast against the single spotlight that illuminates her. Phil slowly moves forward towards her and finds himself staring not into the faceless wood of a puppet, but the wooden eyes of his late wife. Phil reaches out to touch her. However, the moment his trembling fingers touch the grain of her cheek, He sits bolt upright in bed, awakened in a cold sweat. I would like you to make a perception check.
I want you to know, you were right. I do hate you already.
Good. Oh shit, it fell
It's
off the
with
page.
love. That is an 11.
Eleven just makes it.
I have a +4, and I rolled a 7.
As you sit bolt upright, you catch a glimpse of a bit of the shadow in the corner of the room that is darker than it should be. You know something is there.
Hello? Hello? Can I can still cast, right?
You can.
I'm going to use Dancing Lights, which for me just looks like a little headlamp and a small little flashlight. I'm gonna rifle through my khaki shorts that I left near the bed, and I'm gonna grab a little. Just, goddamn thing! Here, hello? I'm gonna shine it in the corner.
At the minute it hits the corner, you see the shadow of a performer in a lunar mask recoil and slip through a crack in the wood of the wall. As she vanishes, you see a couple small pieces of confetti trailing after her.
I'm gonna pop up, blanket kind of around my waist. I don't sleep in the buck, but I do sleep in the skivvies, so I gotta keep some decency. And I'm gonna run to the wall and kind of like touch down it to see if maybe I'm imagining things or something slipped through, and say to myself very quietly, "That's gonna need some spackle." Just kind of.
It's
Then I'm
cold. Not cold as we know it, but cold as in the absence of any heat. Roll Arcana.
+3. 19.
You sit back and remember, not sit back, you're standing, but you remember conversation you had with a customer in your store. He told you about something that happened to his sister. She'd gone to the Feywild to make a bargain. Didn't know the specifics. But when she came back, she had no shadow. And you know that there is a spell that can separate someone from their shadow. You hear leaves start to rustle outside. You don't see anything moving when you look out the window, but you would imagine that this is the shadow making its exit.
I'm gonna peek out the window, just kind of lean out of it, get a meander about the yard, and see if I can definitively pin down anything. Which I'm thinking probably dark, shadow, disadvantage at best.
Like 5 a.m. The sun is just starting to creep over the tops of the hills. But the things like the wooded areas and roads in between houses are still very much dark. The sun hasn't quite made it to them yet.
Oh, I'm gonna go ahead and fail this one. Given the environment and Phil's age, he's not gonna catch it very easily. I'm gonna go ahead and.
Yeah, that's fine.
In the blue blazes? Phil, your mind's starting to go with the roosters. It's... I'll I'll have to make my way and talk to Samford when I get a chance. He's gonna be in town in a few weeks. That's... Well, got a late start to the day.
In reality, Samford is not going to be in town in a few weeks. You're supposed to meet him at the Witchlight Carnival today, but this being has stolen your ability to perceive time correctly, and you are now unaware of the accurate passage of time.
God damn. Alrighty, Alright, I gotta wash up, I gotta get myself something. Gotta check on Buck. Buck is a stuffed deer head. He just sits like above and off to the side of the main door to the house. He's been there forever. I got him at the equivalent of a fantasy garage sale. He was kept in a box of old hats. To the three of you that understand that reference. I'm gonna have my breakfast, oatmeal, toss in some blueberries for flavor, put on my mocks, which are mimic crocs, put those mothers in adventure mode. And I'm gonna go ahead and take my 2 or 3 speed walk laps around the neighborhood.
As you do,
wave to the
nearing that same section that shadow vanished. You could hear it vanish. You couldn't see it because of Phil's progressing age. Right around where you would estimate, you hear another rustle. Now, there are signs posted everywhere. This is the path to the Witchlight Carnival. But you've never taken it before, and it does look a little dim, a little dreary, and for some reason, even though the carnival should be in town for another 3 or 4 days, the signs are gone.
Oh yeah, no, I gotta swing in and talk to Mr. Elliott. The carnival should be gone for another few days at least. I gotta see if that order's in, and I gotta make sure it's out before I head. I gotta meet Samford there. I'm gonna run back to my power walk. I power walk.
Phil doesn't run.
Back to my... No, Phil does not run. It's a fun fact. I don't even chase my liquor. But my fridge was running and I had to run to catch it. It was a whole thing.
Is this payback for the opening?
Absolutely not. Why would I do that? I'm gonna greet Elliot. He's the tiefling that keeps the front of house running when I'm there. Elliot, has that order of granite slab come in yet from off the mountains of the dwarves?
What are you talking about, Phil? That came in 2 weeks ago.
No. It's not. It's due in. I'm sorry. You said 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I signed for it myself.
Well, hot water and haberdasheries. This is gonna sound a little off and a little funny. Elliot, you're in charge until I get back or until you hear word of my passing. I am gonna go ahead and boogie down like a carnival clown, and I'm going to swiftly power walk while panicking.
You
towards the Witchlight.
You hear Elliot trying to call, like, everything okay, boss? But his voice fades into the background as I am hazarding a guess that you pay absolutely no attention.
None. In my head, the only thing going on is a small white, heron gun with a little timepiece saying, you're late for a very important date. And I'm just gonna...
Has Phil stopped to collect any, any...
Oh, I need my ukulele. Let me go grab that. I almost got done tuning it, so I'm gonna grab my ukulele, a change of Crocs, my flannel, my dad jeans, a belt, my old balances. My new balances haven't come in yet. It gets worse. Yeah, I think that's and an extra bucket hat just in case. Just in case. Take all that with me. Oh, you know what? My good belt. I'm gonna grab my good belt and just
double checks. He's good to go. As Phyll heads off towards the Witchlight.
And this is that one time when Sanford said he actually had something important to say. The man yaks on for days on end. Couldn't tell a goblin from a kobold, but this man swears he has something important to tell me every damn time he's in town.
As you're walking,
it's not business related.
As you're walking, the light streaming through the leaves starts to get less and less. Things start to look a little creepier, a little less inviting. Until you come across, it could be a day, could be a couple hours, you really can't tell. But you come across a clearing where a circular fountain sits in the middle. 7 goblets are littered around the edges of the fountain.
Evening, morning, fellas.
There's no one
gonna
there.
Go ahead and
just goblets laying around a fountain, like cups.
Goblet. Oh, goblets! I heard goblins.
No, goblet.
Mine and Phil's hearing is going.
You're old.
And I thought I had vicious mockery. I can't quite tell if these cups are half full or half empty. I suppose that's the philosophy of it. Is there a cup that is specifically half full?
Would you like to investigate?
Absolutely.
Roll investigation.
Oh, damn, it's only 2. 10.
10 will do it. There is no water in any of these cups. However, you do notice that there are markings on the inside of each of the cups. However, you'll need to get closer to the cups to see what those markings are.
Oh, 100%. I'm going to go ahead and inspect them for both craftsmanship and the scribbling on the inside of them.
Another roll.
Investigation again?
Yes, please.
Solid. 16 total. 14 on the die plus 2.
That easily you are able to see. They're decently well made, but they're old. They're definitely old. Almost inconceivably. But they are still holding together. There are 7 marks inside each of the 7 goblets. They are lettered A through G. And the closer you look, the more you realize that they're not sculpted by hand. They had to have been cast because they are completely identical, at least on the inside.
Yeah, you know how I know these weren't handcrafted? You can look here, it's all symmetrical. A through G.
Roll perception.
A, 2, 41. Okay, so there's 7. There's a letter missing. Ha! Ten.
As you look up, there's a plaque in front of your face. In common, the plaque reads, "My heart is cold, cold as my bones, but I could be moved by the proper tones."
Oh, I got this one. You see, I did something like this at community college. We had a little talent show, and I was trying to impress this girl I knew, Susie Carmichael. Wonderful girl. Tabaxi. Strange habits. I'm going to attempt to fill each of the glasses high enough to spit out that note. Because if it's A through G, being a bard, would I know that as far as like?
Roll intelligence.
Where is that modifier?
Actually, DM brain, would that be intelligence or would that be wisdom?
Intelligence is book smart. Wisdom would be street smarts.
Go.
Knowing how high to, how high to fill them is like a measurement thing.
So, the lines inside each show a different.
Okay.
So it tells you where to go. But knowing that they're notes, I would say give me a intelligence roll to see if this is something Phil remembers from Bard Community College.
It's just as good as any regular college. 12.
Yeah, it's pretty basic. Most bards, not any musician, not even a bardic musician, would know this. So you recognize the different notes, and you figured out kind of what this is. You just need to figure out what the answer to the problem is.
My heart is cold. Cold as ice. So are my bones.
My heart is cold. Cold as my bones. But I could be moved by the proper tones.
Is the proper tones a band, like out of game? Like, is this a? My heart is cold, cold as my bones. I could be moved by the proper tones. I have to play a specific song, don't I?
I have to play a specific something. It's not necessarily a song.
I have to play the right note. Heart is cold, cold as my bones, but I could be moved by the right tones. What can make your melt? Heart chords. A through G. In the meantime, I'm going to play Never Gonna Give You Up.
As you do start running your fingers along the edges of these cups, nothing happens, but you feel a sense of anticipation. Almost as if you're very close, but not quite there.
I'm going to play any song I know in D minor.
Nothing happens. Go ahead and roll wisdom.
It's an 11.
You remember that in music, there's 7 notes and then it repeats.
Scales. I'm going to run through each of the notes at least once.
Okay. Do you double any of them, or are you playing a scale?
I'm playing a scale first, and then gonna go back through.
That scale rings out. The ground under your feet starts to grow hot as you see words burning themselves into the stone that surrounds this circular fountain. These words read, "You've done quite well, you've mastered the scale, but there's still one more test. I pray you don't fail, you know the notes. Now play the tune and tell me with whom I commune.
One more time so I can write it down.
You've done quite well. You've mastered the scale. But there's still one more test. I pray you don't fail. You know the notes. Now play the tune and tell me with whom I commune.
I'm going to play just a kind of a country bumpkin melody.
Nothing happens.
Okay. Play the tune. Tell me who. They'd commune with me. Can I play the arpeggios?
You may.
I'd like to play the arpeggios from start to finish on that one, just to see if anything. Nothing.
I'm enjoying this.
Oddly enough, so am I. Yeah, now well, let's see here. You've done quite well. You mastered the scale. One more test, I pray you don't fail. You know the notes. Now play the tune. And tell me with whom I commune. I gotta figure out what tune I gotta play, because I do know the notes. And then I gotta tell them who they commune with.
As you look down and look around, did you take note of anything?
I would have noticed where the goblets were placed first, in what order, and how much water would be left in the fountain.
Nothing else?
It's circular, right?
Hmm.
Is there anything specific about the fact it's circular?
Circular fountain.
Hmm. Middle of the road, circular fountain. What about the plaque?
It's just a plaque. You're on the right track, though.
I'm gonna roll just a general perception, see if I can catch anything that may have not made sense earlier, given the newer information. 19. 15 on the die, plus 4.
As you look up and you take your surroundings in, you notice there is ivy growing around the backside of this fountain. And every single bit of it is dead. The further away you get from the fountain, the more the unnatural life springs back into existence. But the life surrounding this specific fountain is almost non-existent.
So on the back of this fountain, the part of it that's overgrown is dead ivy. And then the further back away I get, the light returns to normal.
The closer to the fountain you are, the more dead plant life there is.
Can I play a funeral dirge?
Nothing happens. But the sense of anticipation does grow.
I'm going to play Poison by Tom Waits.
Nothing happens.
Okay.
I had to check.
With the two people that know Tom Waits in the group, like, maybe.
You're so close. This is actually painful to watch.
Oh, I know it's painful to watch when you have the knowledge. Dead plan. I'm going to play Toxic by Britney Spears.
Nothing happens.
Damn. So the whole thing is that right around where I'm at. 7 goblets, notes, scales first. Is there anything reminiscently snake-like?
No.
Okay.
Maybe some... You might see like some dead discarded snake skin at some point, but it's nothing that looks like it's out of place in the middle of a forest.
There's this thing, it's a death march?
We're close. Thinking too broad.
Poison. It's killing stuff the closer it gets to it. Communes with death?
Commune with what?
Communes with death.
Not death.
Life.
Commune. Come on, you're so close.
With whom I commune. With me?
Not death, but...
The dead.
The minute that realization sinks into your head, the sense of anticipation grows. And you still have 7 cups sitting in front of you.
I have to figure out which cup to drink. I'm gonna set 5 off to the side. I'm gonna pick B note for myself. And then, sappy as it is, the F note for my late wife. I'm going to tap the glass very gently and just... So maybe one day being together again, darling. And I'm going to drink the B cup.
As you drink the B cup, a sense of disappointment comes from the same place that the anticipation had been. It's not the answer they were looking for.
Specific cup has to be drank. Commune with death. Commune with the dead. 7 cups. Anticipation grows. I'll start from top to bottom. I'll drink the A note next.
That is not what they were looking for.
Oh, the drinking is not. Okay. Oh, I still have to play the tune. I'm thinking too straightforward. I'll start playing notes from A.
When you touch the D glass, the sense of excitement and anticipation returns.
I'm going to play the D.
The sense of anticipation grows, but they're waiting
Oh,
for
I'm
more.
dumb. I'm going to play the notes D, E, A, D. In that order. Over and over again.
As the last note fades, the stone that had the note burned into it before starts shifting and moving. As a staircase forms, descending into the earth around the fountain. Path ahead feels ominous. It doesn't feel like there's a lot of promise if Phyll heads that way. However, there is something about his late wife's face in his dream last night. She looked older than when he'd last seen her.
Well, the granite stays solid on all the things they do. I'm going to go ahead and descend the staircase.
And
But I'm
as he
going to
does,
take my little dancing light and just... need new... God.
And as he does, the path begins to close behind him. Phyll is on this journey whether he wants to be or not now.
Well, that's not up to OSHA standards. You know, that's going to get a real big violation there.
The equivalent of OSHA.
Fantasy OSHA.
OSHA.
OSHA. High fantasy, occupational safety, and was it half orc? I'm gonna find something. I'm gonna create something. It's gonna be a subclass of a paladin. Watch.
As Phyll is walking along, I would like you to make a perception check.
Oh boy, it's gonna be a fun one. $17 on the die, 21 total.
Ooh, you rolled good. You hear a scuttling sound coming from somewhere in the dark.
Hello?
No one responds, but the feeling that something is there does not go away.
You know, I oughta warn you now. I may not know karate, but I know crazy, and I am not afraid to use it. And I'm gonna shine my dancing lights around for a little bit to see if there's anything out there. Feels a little scared, just a little bit.
As your light hits the corner, a young darkling jumps out, and I would like you to roll for initiative.
Oh boy. I have a +0 initiative. Phyll is not fast. I will send it. I'll verify it.
Did you nat 20 it?
Yes.
I got a 19.
Haven't touched it. Sent it to verify.
You're good. I believe you. I got a 19, but Phyll, you still go first because they also do not have a plus to their initiative.
With the body of a chicken and the face of a monkey, I'm a mongoose.
Mongoose.
Careful now. This is my fighting stance from now on.
You know what this has given me really, flashbacks to? Guys, I know you're all well aware we don't record, like, this is not being recorded in canon order with everything else. We're flashing back here. I'm remembering Ventura in the last session just being picked up to grab Phil's tongue, just... when you pick up an angry cat.
Oh, yeah.
So, what would you like to do?
What do I... So I see a young darkling jump at me, yes?
Yes.
Can I use... Am I in his threatened area? Probably, since he's jumping at me, right? Okay. So it's within 5 feet. You know, young man, it is very rude to just jump out at people, and I'm going to undo my belt, which, for those of you at home, has the stats of a basic whip. And trauma warning, trigger warning, I am going to belt this young man. We'll deal it out later. Do I have to grapple him to hit him with a belt? Is that a thing?
I'm actually not sure. I am going to say no.
Okay.
Because if you were going to give someone a range attack with a whip, you would not need to be holding them. That being said, I would like you to roll your roll for attack at disadvantage because you are so
fair.
close.
That is absolutely fair. Let me grab my other d20. You know, Feel's not a violent guy. But you spare the rod. Oh god, I hope this doesn't bring up trauma for any of the watchers. I am so sorry. For those of you who have watched the other episodes, Phil's a lovely guy. This is just reflex. That doesn't help.
Bum, bum, bum.
I got an 11 and a 10.
You miss.
I don't know if I add anything to those at the moment. I don't think I do.
Nope. That is just to hit. You miss. The Darkling, as they're launching their way through the air, is close enough that you're not able to get a good aim on them.
That's absolutely fair. I have a bonus action as well.
Okay.
All my spells are instant actions, though. Yeah, no, I'll save that.
Okay. As this Darkling is flying at your face, they're going to pull out their dagger. They're going to roll a 16 to hit.
Cutting words?
Go ahead.
It's gonna burn an inspiration, real quick, burn a bardic. He rolled a 10. That is a 6 on the die. I will happily show you that as well.
Remind me what the spell does. I don't have your spell sheets in front of me.
Not a problem. Cutting words allows me to roll a bardic, burn a bardic slot, and roll to subtract the bardic from their attack roll. Let me double check to make sure. If not, I will still take that burned slot, no problem. As a reaction, when a creature that's not immune to being charmed, you can see within 60 feet, makes an attack roll, ability check, or damage roll. Spend the use of one bardic inspiration to roll the die and subtract the number from the creature's roll.
Is that from
I can do so. I can.
Is
yeah,
that subtracting
I can do so after the,
from their damage or subtracting from their attempt to hit?
Attack roll, ability check, or damage roll. So I can do damage, attack, or ability.
Okay.
However, I think I'm unlucky enough to still have a really... Yeah, my armor class is still 10. He still hits. Doesn't matter. I have no armor. I'm as spry as a chicken.
As we hear every joint Phyll has start to crack.
They creak.
Just creaking. Okay, so
I
that
stayed
is
limber.
going to be a 1d4 plus 3 damage. I will let you use that on the damage roll because you did burn a bardic if you would like.
Sure. You want to reroll it?
Up to you.
Otherwise, I'll reroll it, to be fair.
Okay.
I'm about to say a 6 takes it down to nothing. That's a 5.
Okay.
Where are these rolls when I'm in front of people?
So, Phyll is going to take, before we subtract anything, 5 piercing damage and 3 necrotic damage.
Okay. So I'll knock the piercing off, but I'll take the necrotic.
3 necrotic. Okay.
I'm at 11 already.
Yeah, I remember looking at the character sheets and going, Jesus Christ, we need to heal her. Phil's gonna die.
He's not cursed. He's a guy. He's a little more than ordinary, but he put his adventuring days behind him. He's out of retirement now. Let him get limbered up and he's going to be a real threat.
The Starkling goes and slashes at you with its dagger. You are able to block the hilt away with your arm, but you do get caught by the blade as the necrotic energy deals 3 necrotic damage to you.
Whoa, young man, that's not You know, that stings something fierce. I'm going to pull out my badly tuned ukulele and hate me for this later, but I know we have to stay within 10 seconds to avoid certain rules and regulations, right?
10 seconds.
Okay. Oh, won't you fly free, rock? And I'm going to cast Thunderwave while playing the main guitar riff for licensed song.
A bird that is no longer in jail.
Yes, a recently liberated avian accomplishment.
Roll to attack.
Skirting the laws. That is actually, with Thunderwave, it is a wave that force that sweeps out from you. Each creature in a 15-foot cube originating from me must make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
On a failed save, a creature takes 2d8 thunder damage and is pushed 10 feet away. On successful, they take half and isn't pushed.
You
so
see my
let
hands.
me get the...
Phyll, hey,
Yep.
not touching it. You see my hands.
Oh, fuck you. That's fair. The dice will do what the dice do. They still take half.
They still take half. Okay, what's half?
Let's find out. Where's that fucking D8? Where's that darn D8? There it is. One.
Had to make your language feel appropriate.
Well, you see, Phil has a thing about severe potty mouths, and can't go over here preaching the good word if I'm over here being the messiah of the potty mouth brigade. He takes... Fuck. 4.
He
okay,
takes a
8
fuck?
total. Hey, yeah, that's not an appropriate language there, young lady.
I'm the DM. You can't talk to me like that.
You're right, I can't talk to you at all.
Unless you're Chad.
Unless you're Chad.
You said he takes how many? 4?
4.
Okay. Fantastic. Bet.
And
So,
then... Yeah.
the Darkling is going to land. He's going to twist around, pulling the 2 scimitars off of his back. He's going to use multi-attack and make 2 scimitar attacks. First one is a 14 to hit.
Okay.
And the second one is a 8 to hit. So 14 and an 8.
14 hits, 8 does not. I will not burn a bardic because I have to do it before I know the success or failure. I can do it after the roll, but before I know if it succeeds or fails. I waited.
So the 14.
I waited.
That is going to do. Where's my d6? 5.
I'll take 5.
You block the first scimitar out of the way with your ukulele, but that leaves the rest of your body open as the Darkling pulls the scimitar right along your side.
Young man, you and I are about to have a... Where's your father? We're going to have a serious discussion about this.
He hisses at you, but does not answer you verbally.
I'm going to cast Cure Wounds on myself. I am a healer.
Okay, go ahead.
So it's 1d8 plus my spell modifier, and my ability casting spell modifier is... Plus 3. Boom, boom.
It's in
That
my
is
head
11.
now.
That is 11 points of health back.
Hey, that's more than all of it.
That's more than all of the things.
Good, honestly.
And nothing goes to temp.
I am sitting here going, shit, am I gonna have to find a way to canonically revive Phyll? I'm glad that 'tis not the case.
Let's see. Which of you bats is... It's a Darkling, right? I'm gonna get that spell slot out of the way. And one for Thunder Wave. I've got one spell slot left. Okay, I know how I'm gonna do this. Okay.
A lot of words with very little information in them.
Full turn.
Okay. Darkling is going to land. Land is the wrong word. Restabilize and come at you again with just one of the scimitars this time.
I'm going to cast Silvery Barbs at first level. Magically distract the triggering creature, and it turns its momentary uncertainty into encouragement for somebody else. Triggering creature must re-roll the d20, so essentially... Yep, and the lower of the two.
Well, it was a 4 and a 5, so...
I wouldn't have known. I'll still burn that slot. And then I can give myself advantage on top of that.
Yeah, so either way,
then...
the Darkling's a little fucked.
Tiny bit. Okay. I know what I'm doing next.
Okay.
My turn?
Yeah, his attack failed. He, the Darkling, you can tell that this is a young Darkling, and they don't really have the experience that comes with being, in this for a little bit. So when they lunge at you, they're lunging blind. They don't really plan what they're going to do. And because of that, you sidestep and they completely miss.
Fair enough. Would my badly tuned ukulele count as an improvised weapon?
I will allow it.
Okay. I would like to, non-lethal, bonk the shit out of them on their head like a little brat at Target.
Go ahead and roll.
I'm going to roll with advantage due to silvery barbs.
Yep.
That's plus nothing. It's a fucking ukulele. That's still 13?
13 will hit.
What's ukulele damage? Aside from like every single campfire being dead. D4, D6?
How about a D6? I don't care.
That's fair.
We're picking something.
Choices. Choices are hard. 5.
Starting to look ragged. Still on its feet, but is not doing so hot.
You know, young man, if you were just to take a hot second and communicate with me, this is not how we express ourselves.
Turns and snarls at you. This Darkling does not give you speech. This Darkling gives you hostility and nothing else. Does not treat you like a human, he treats you like a threat. As he once... I'm sorry, this is his turn again, correct?
Yes.
Zoned out for a minute there. As he once again drops the scimitar and lunges at Phyll with a dagger. That is going to be an 8.
10.
I don't know why my brain told me to roll again. I
was waiting for it. I was like, she's got something going. I'm gonna wait.
I think my brain just likes the math rocks.
Fair enough.
Click, clack, math rocks.
Okay. I'd like to bonk him again with the ukulele if it's my turn.
Go right ahead. Because we're moving so fast-paced, I'd say roll at advantage because you'd probably attack him. Nope, surprise him attacking that quickly.
17?
17 hits.
Non-lethal.
Non-lethal.
I'm not trying to... Phyll is a non-murdery kind of guy. That's 6.
As you deal your last bonk to his noggin, you can see him see the little songbirds as he falls over into a heap, unconscious.
Doink, 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 doink. You know, young man, I can see that you don't quite know what you're doing, and that's okay. You'll get there one day. But for right now, go ahead and take yourself a quick nap. I'm going to run out and grab some milk. I'll be back.
As Phyll keeps walking along, he's walking for a long time. Long enough that he probably takes a nap or two there. It's been a couple days, maybe a week. Phil's not really sure. He doesn't know what time it is. He can't perceive time. Not only did the shadow that he saw do something to his brain, there's no sunlight down here. There is no way to track the passage of time.
I want to be funny and say a keen mind, but that's not true. I don't have to. I'm sorry. That was bad. I'm counting bottles of ale. 99 bottles of ale on the wall. 99 bottles of ale, but it starts over when I fall asleep.
Good jokes. Yeah, what you gonna say to me? What you gonna say to me? Because you know they're bad. You know they're bad.
You know, good and bad are such opposites, but at the same time, it's like pizza. Even the bad ones, kind of good.
Pizza is kind of delicious.
That is a fact.
Shit, I think I'm getting pizza tonight. That sounds like
I do have a calzone I can finish off. I'm gonna polish that calzone off.
now that we've got dinner plans worked out. As Phil wakes up for the second, third time, he's not really sure. He sees off in the distance a beam of light.
Oh, this little light of mine. I think I see it shine at the end of the hall. I'm gonna go ahead and meander
As Phil gets
and
closer,
power.
his little power walk. As he power walks up, he sees a door. An old wooden door. Barricaded with 3 bars.
Yeah, DM, am I sure it's a door and not a jar?
You are very sure it is a door. Because
So it's not tilted and slightly ajar. I'll roll a new character.
See, I was thinking about whether I wanted to do something or not, and I sat there and I thought back. I'm like, I can't do that to Phil. That's a little too mean. But now,
Can't get my backs. Get in the
this-
comments.
Remember this in chapter 4.
Chat, you got my backs. Get in the comments.
Have his back all you want. You can't stop me. Phil is looking at this door. He sees on the arms of each of these large bolts. The door's probably about as tall as he is, so there's 3 decently large arm bolts across it. And the closer he looks, the more he sees that there is text on these bolts. As Phil moves closer to see what this text says, he starts to notice instruments littering the floor. All shapes, sizes, and kinds.
What does the text on the arms read?
Phil stands right by the door, I'm going to assume.
Yes.
Standing next to a lever that you can pull, like on the wall. I should mention as well, I apologize, you are in a dead end at this point in time. There's nowhere else to go but through this door. The text on the topmost bar reads, "I'm difficult for you to hear. Say my name and I disappear."
I'm gonna play in the sound of silence on my ukulele.
The correct answer to the riddle, but not the correct solution to your problem.
Ah.
The second one reads, "No answers if you question me. I'll question you instead. But if you shout, I'll answer thee to say what thou hast said." Once again, because I fucked up my words. "No answers if you question me. I'll question you instead. But if you shout, I'll answer thee to say what thou hast said." And the third one reads, "My skin has been stretched, my body beaten, time and time again to keep the time."
So the first one up there, that's got to be silence, because anytime you speak, it disappears.
Mm-hmm.
The second one is an echo.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime you ask an echo question, it asks you one right back. And the third is most likely my cousin and his wife. You see, they are into some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's not them two, then it's a drum.
Mm-hmm.
What were the lines to the first one?
Pardon?
What were the lines to the first arm bolt?
I'm difficult for you to hear. Say my name and I disappear. You already answered that one. It's silence. So you have answered.
I'm gonna look for a drum.
Roll perception.
$16 total, 12 on the die.
Easily. There's several different drums, shapes and sizes littered about.
Bongos.
You find a set of bongos. You look so pleased with your set of bongos.
I absolutely do. These are nice bongos.
Chad's not here.
Floating ribcage.
We love
Chad,
you,
if you're
Chad.
watching, we love you still. I'm gonna play on the bongos. Do 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 do. I can feel it coming in the air, and I'm gonna stop right there.
And as the sound of these bongos fade, nothing happens except you hear a very identifiable click coming from by the lever on the door, or next to the door.
Just one?
One click.
Echo. I'm going to shout back down the hallway. Stoneway tunnel thing. Well, hi there, neighbor. How are you? And let it kind of reverberate and echo down the hall.
Your voice echoes back to you. Oh shit. Oh, there it is. Sorry, my computer almost went to sleep for a minute.
Oh no.
Like, I was looking at a black screen and I'm like, ah, fuck. We good though, we good.
Listen to the soundless, to the formless, and I'm going to call back to my community college days of one of my roommates who was a monk. But he wasn't really a roommate, he just came over a lot. You know, I think he had a thing for my dorm mate, but yeah, we're not going to get into that there. That's dad lore.
Okay, so what would you like to do? Apparently
Am I dumb because I do remember you said there was a lever, and I'm sitting here thinking that I had to...
There is a lever. Had you tried to pull that before, it would have stayed stoically in place, but now it is heavy. But as you pull it down, you hear click, click, click. As these 3 bars disengage and the door creaks open to the sunlight.
Oh. Well, I'll tell you what. I may have been Flash before in my time, but that's something can't quite get used to. You're right. I'm gonna meander on out and go ahead and spend a few minutes trying to get my surroundings, and I'm gonna look back just one time to see if that space behind me is the same or is it different now.
Have you exited the door?
Yes.
You look behind and all you see is a rock face.
That makes sense. Once things are set into a sedimentary lifestyle, you just can't seem to get them rolling again.
As you look around, you see a path. And not far down it, you can faintly hear music.
Alrighty. I think I may be going in the good direction, in the right direction. Well, where there's music, there's people. Where there's people, there are people. Let's go that direction.
As you crest the top of the hill, you see a field filled with sprawling tents and a river winding its way around. Roll Arcana for me.
You've been rolling like shit. You've been rolling half decent. 16 on the die.
More than enough. The air is thick with magic. This is not a normal carnival. And you were told that the Witchlight Carnival is a Fey carnival. However, you didn't expect it to be quite this different. The air, it sings with magic. It is palpable as you walk towards the Witchlight Carnival. The first stars of the night twinkle above the apricot sunset. Giant dragonflies whir overhead, trailing streamers, and a low mist curls over the ground. Through a floral archway, you glimpse wondrous and vibrant creatures. Elven stilt walkers, dancing fairies, and painted performers. Everywhere there is laughter, pixie dust, bubbles, and the wistful tune of a whistling calliope. And that is where we'll end the session.